good morning, everyone. My name is Lindsay Karp, and this is Kristen Treglia, and we're going to be doing matching tools for tasks and educational resources. All the slides and resources we're going to provide will be available on bit.ly/10QQRGM. This should give you access to all the links and materials that we have. Okay. So I also have a website. I made a short one on Weebly, and I also put all my slides on SlideShare, which I'm going to talk about one of the tools here. I'm an instructional technologist at Fordham University. I've been doing that for about 9 years, going on 10. I'm also a videographer background. I've done film festivals, different videography things. There's fully online degree programs at Fordham that I've made media elements and videos for. And this is Kristen Treglia.
I started out as a math teacher. I taught high school math for 10 years, and then I came to Fordham. I've been doing this about 7 years. Same thing as Lindsay. We wear lots of hats. We do Blackboard system admins. We do... Oh, can you hear me now? Is that better? Okay, sorry. So I started out as a math teacher. I taught math for 10 years, high school math for 10 years, and then coming to Fordham, do the same thing as Lindsay. We're Blackboard system admins. We help to design and produce online courses. We run workshops for faculty, and we wear a bunch of other hats. But that's my Twitter handle. That's my WordPress. And then I am working on a book, everything that I've learned about education and technology in the last 20 years, so like over my career. So that's the next slide. And the first section's coming out this summer, if you're interested.
Okay. So I'm going to go over some synchronous and asynchronous tools. And I have a theme of boxing match. So we're going to talk about the two tools, and then we're going to ask you which ones you want to go forward with. So the first one is screencast. Screencasts are videos of whatever's occurring on a screen. You see them very often with on YouTube, on, for instance, an Excel sheet on how to insert formulas. You'll see the mouse going into each cell and typing in. These are called screencasts. Both these tools are free. Jing is a free tool that you can download. It works on your computer without the internet. It records up to 5 minutes. Best practices for video and education are 5 to 10 minutes or less. YouTube's done a study about how long a video is, and everyone clicks off for around 7 to 10 minutes. So they don't see anybody using video. So if you can do a Jing screencast with 5 minutes, you can do your steps in parts. And this is also really enhances what the student can do. They can click on the link, watch it at their own pace, and rewatch it without having it to buffer over and over again. This is a really easy site too. You can share them. They host them for you on screencast.com for free. There are paid subscriptions that allow you to do further recordings, but this one's pretty good. The other one is Screencast-O-Matic. This one's great because you do not need to download anything. You do this all within the browser. The only caveat is you need to be able to have internet access. So what you would do is you'd go to screencast-o-matic.com. There's a button right on the screen to record what you're doing on the screen. It can record up to 15 minutes for the free version. You can also do a webcam simultaneously with it. So if you do want picture-in-picture with your face talking as well as what you're doing on the screen, that's possible. You do not need to install anything, but you do need to enable Java. This allows you also to download the file so you can edit and modify it in any video editing program that you'd like, or you can share it straight to YouTube. Okay. So Jing's assets are it can record screencasts without being on the web, and you can download it to edit, but the file is in a Flash format. Screencast-O-Matic does not require any software installation. You just go to the website, and you just need to enable Java. The only downside to it is there's a small, and most faculty do not mind, watermark at the bottom left corner that says Screencast-O-Matic. But if you do the paid subscription, I think it's only $10 a year, so most people opt for that because then you get all the bells and whistles. Okay.
Okay.
I've been using Screencast-O-Matic sure, but what I can do is I can check it out tonight and I'll tweak
Yeah.
it. So if you other guys don't know, just follow up.
Yeah, there's a couple of things, depending on your operating system and the update for it. If you have a current running operating system, you can have it in your browser. You have to have it open and Java enabled. I think you do need to use either Firefox or Chrome for it to work without any downloads.
Yeah, I think what I'm saying is I think you can work all the time because I use it without having any browser.
Okay.
I'll double check that.
Sure.
So, does anybody want to see a demo for Jing? Raise your hands. We've got one. Screencast-O-Matic, raise your hands. We've got one. It's a tiebreaker. We need people to vote. How many of you use Jing already?
Okay.
Okay, how many of you use Screencast-O-Matic? Okay, so maybe at the end, we'll do that.
Sure. Okay. So now we're going to go into video conferencing tools. So the two that I'm going to highlight is Google Hangout and Skype. They're pretty big competitors with each other, and they're both free. So Google Hangout, all you have to do if you have a Gmail account is enable a Google+, and then you get the enabled option in your Gchats to do video conferencing or audio conferencing. You can do up to 10 people at a time, and the video and audio calls can go up to 2 hours. So if you do need to have a meeting or any session longer than 2 hours, you hang up and you call again. Then you get another 2 hours. You can do screen sharing at the same time, so if you're demoing something or showing somebody how to do something, you can toggle into sharing your screen. You can also work with the whole suite of Drive and collaborate and crowdsource notes or meetings, minutes, anything with that. There is an option to record a session, but that's called Google On Air. And
Yeah, if you want to record a Google Hangout, then you'd have to use another product to record the screen. They don't have an app. They did at one point, but they don't anymore. So if you do want to record a session without having to go that route, then you'd have to use the broadcast on air.
there is an option also on the broadcast to delete public and add in specific names if you wanted to do it with only certain users. Okay, Skype also is free. You could connect up to 10 people, and again, it's 2 hours, so as soon as Google and Skype made it 10 people, they made it 2 hours to be competitive. You can screen share and share files, but you can't work collaboratively unless you are using Google in the background, but that's not simultaneous. We do use this a lot for productivity in our office. We have a couple of campuses, and we keep Skype open on a regular basis to share documents or give each other heads up that a faculty is coming by. Okay, so now we have a Google+, so if you already have a Gmail account, you can enable your Google Hangouts. You can do screen sharing and collaborate documents. Skype is free. You need to download it to your computer, and you get 2 hours of talk time. Is there either one of these that you'd like to be demoed?
Google Hangouts? One. Nobody wants to see demos?
Skype?
Skype?
You've all seen it?
How many of you use Google Hangouts? How many of you are Google Schools? Okay. Skype? Yeah.
Okay, this is a good crowd then.
What's a Google School?
Oh, so the Google Schools, we used to have a Lotus Notes, and then we got educational license for Google. Our campus made a contract with Google where we get all the tools and it's available to students. So now they can have like a lifetime, alumni email and everything. We also have had it so that the lawyers spoke with them and they did a contract so that there's no data mining on any of the materials and searches.
Just for the core apps, like the Drive?
Not with
and the
YouTube,
email.
yeah. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is,
Google certified instructors. Is that related to Google Schools? A lot of people on Twitter says Google instructor or Google certified instructor.
no, those are classes that Google offers, and those are instructors that are certified for Google Apps. We were saying that the suite of Google is, we have a Fordham address, and it's gmail.fordham.edu, and that's the enterprise that we have for our university. Okay, so I'm going to talk about SlideShare and BrainShark. SlideShare is one of my favorite presentation demonstration tools. I put a lot of my presentations on SlideShare, and the bit.ly link will link to this one. You can use it as a portfolio. You can add documents, posters, any slideshow decks that you've used. It's also a great asset for students who are on the go when they're looking at your SlideShare. If they're on their mobile phone on a bus commuting to school, they won't be able to open your PowerPoints if you have PowerPoints to review, because they won't most likely have PowerPoint on their device. If you use SlideShare, it's an embedded video, embedded window, and they can go slide by slide, so they don't need to download anything for it.
Also on SlideShare, they have an education section. So what's nice is people that are putting their slides out usually allow people to embed the slides or download the slides. They'll also put what license, if you're familiar with Creative Commons, you can put Creative Commons on SlideShare. But let's say you're doing a topic, you search on SlideShare. SlideShare is it's like YouTube is to video, SlideShare is to slides. And there's just a really large amount of educators putting their slides on SlideShare.
Can you audio narrate your slides?
They used to have that, and they just took that off. But you can embed YouTube videos inside of it. Lindsay's going to show you BrainShark, and those will have the animation with the audio.
Okay. So you can upload PowerPoint presentations, PDFs, documents and images, infographics. There are millions of stuff, so it's a great asset to be able to research and find things. I'm really an advocate for not having to reinvent the wheel. So if you do see an excellent SlideShare deck, sometimes they enable you to download it so you can remix it into your own PowerPoint class in your class. And BrainShark's another one. It's a version like this. This one is great because it does a slide deck, but you can also enable to play audio. But if you do not have an internal microphone or on your machine, there's a toll-free number that you can dial, and you type in your presentation code, and you're able to say slide 1 and record your audio directly through. So what's nice about the audio recording with a cell phone or any telephone, to be honest, is that the distance of the microphone is very natural for you. You don't have this fluctuating of your voice or having the right distance. You would hold the phone up and it's the appropriate distance for you. I have a short demonstration of BrainShark. This is just one that I picked up. It was on their splash screen. The audio is not working. No. Well, let me unplug this and do it this way.
Make a fist, as tight as you can. Now I want you to pretend that I'm trying to open it. If you're like most people, your natural reaction is to grasp even harder. And my natural reaction would be to try to pull even harder. And my question for you is, why? I never told you not to let me open your fist. Why did you make that assumption?
Okay, so this goes on about communication styles and our natural abilities, but this one also can enable call to actions right at the end. You can make a subscription with this account, and if you give it to your students, you can actually see the response rate of the questions. What's also nice is that someone can't just say that they've watched it, and then when they get prompted with this question, you know how many people have answered it. So if they said, oh, I watched it, and then there's questions interspersed between it, it gives them the moment to reflect on what they've done, and you get some data. So I'm going to hit submit, and of course the internet It's dying. But then the next point, you would see the graph of it, and as an instructor, you can log into the back end of it and see who's done it at what time.
Okay, so how many of you use SlideShare already? How many of you have used BrainShark? Does anybody want to see SlideShare? No? Really tired last day, ready to get out? Okay, so now we're on to asynchronous tools.
Okay, so we're going to do short video editing, video sharing tools. My two favorite are KeepVid and TubeChop. KeepVid's a great website for archiving YouTube videos. There's a lot of multimedia in our online distance learning programs, and a lot of lectures are surrounded by a YouTube video someone was graciously able to put up. But in the risk that someone, because they don't own it, can remove it at any time or remove access, there's ways to archive the videos. So if you go to keepvid.com and you get the URL for the video, once you put it in the site and you click on the download button, you're able to download an MP4 to archive it or remix and edit later on. Okay. The website also has ads on it, and a lot of times the ads are big green download buttons. Don't click on those. There's a small gray button next to where you put the URL. That's the accurate one. And a computer best practice is to always have your mouse hover over the button to view the URL at the bottom to make sure that you're clicking on the right button. TubeChop is great for making short clips. If you have a very long video that you only want them to see 2 minutes of it maybe, you can put the link into TubeChop, and there's these two bars at the end of it, and they're like little carrots, and you drag them in, and then once you say save this TubeChop, it's now a direct URL that you can embed into a website, into your LMS. It also saves it there. I thought it would expire after a certain point, but I've done something about 7 years ago, and it's still there, and the exact same trim that I've done. And a lot of education schools for K through 12, if they're using TubeChop, it bypasses a lot of the YouTube restrictions that schools are putting on their sites. So they restrict YouTube access, a lot of the public schools, so TubeChop circumvents that.
Okay, so anybody using KeepVid? Anybody using TubeChop? Would any of you like to see KeepVid or TubeChop? Yeah, let's do those because they're very quick. They're really fast. I'll demo them. That's fine.
I have the quick thing for YouTube if you want.
That's fine. That's fine. Do TubeChop first. Okay, so I'm just going to go to YouTube and find a video, maybe Star Wars. So you just grab the link and you literally paste it right here. It searches for it. It pulls up your screen. You can either manually type in the seconds that you want to start. Like, I don't need George Lucas up there. Or you can use these sliders. And once you find the exact clip of it, you just click. And you can also add a description if you'd like. You click chop it. Maybe we'll click chop it again. There we go. And so, just like all the stuff that you get with YouTube, you have the embed code, or you can just link to it. And you have comments. There's also a link to the original video, so if they want to see the whole one, they can. That's TubeChop. Any questions about that one? Yes?
When you embed that onto your website, what's the image?
It's just the thumbnail that you see on the front of the video. You can't, there's no customizing that like you could do with a YouTube video. I mean, yeah, you could, that you'd have to jump through a lot of hoops to do that. Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah.
So just to be clear, so I think you said that once you chop it and save it, then it stays on your goodshot.com site.
Yeah, I thought it would expire after a certain period of time, but every time I go back to my example, it's still there. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and there's no account, so you don't need an account for this. It's just public. You do it, and it's, just like YouTube is public.
So you don't create a channel or a folder?
Nope, you just do it.
You could save the URL yourself in like your browser favorites or social bookmarking, but yeah.
Okay, so for Keep Vid, I'm going to use the same Star Wars video. You need that game show music. And
Anyone else have any-
here we go. Okay, I don't know why it's so slow. Maybe everybody on the internet is downloading from KeepVid. There are other YouTube downloaders, but this one has been really stable and around a long time. So you paste the link in, just like you did before. These were the buttons that Lindsay was talking about before. They're really tempting. Don't click them. It's an advertisement. You click the download button, and we're going to wait a minute. Then it gives you different options about the file formats. You want to talk about file formats?
Oh, sure. So once she gets the list that's listed, there's a bunch of MP4s, but they'll have like HD quality all the way down to an embedded web format. I would hope that it would come up. But I don't know if any of you have attended our augmented reality talk, but we used KeepVid for some of the clips that we demonstrated. Are you?
I'm just going to pull up this.
Okay.
Here we go.
Yeah. Okay. So on KeepVid's site, on the lower hand, you'll see these options to download MP4s. You can also download audio only. So if you're not doing anything with the video content, you just want the audio, maybe it's a speech of something, you can download that, and the file size is a lot smaller and more dynamic.
Okay, it came up.
Okay. Should I go? Is it working? Click on it. Okay. So the two assets is KeepVid's really for archiving and re-editing something. You want to keep the content on your own machine. This is just for archiving purposes. So if you do use KeepVid and then you don't save it in a place that you'll find it later, it's on you. TubeChop is being hosted by tubechop.com. There's no software required. You get a URL and embed code for it.
I have just a question based on a scenario. So in our school, all YouTube videos have to be fully transcribed for the first 7 weeks.
Okay.
But sometimes YouTube doesn't have a transcription. So do you use KeepVid to download the audio and then go to an audio to text generator to get those transcriptions?
You can do that. You'd need, Dragon software or, there's a couple of them. Sometimes you do need to train it for it to pick it up more accurately. But YouTube, after a certain period of time, has been pretty good at updating the subtitles, the transcripts. The other way of doing it, I don't know if you need it on the screen at the same time, but a lot of people have a script for it, and then they put the timings next to the sentences that are key to use it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but you can do the audio. That might be better, because then otherwise you're downloading the video and then stripping the audio and then running it. Yeah. Okay. So we're going to talk about polling and survey tools. So there's 3 that I'm going to talk about because they all do something slightly different. There's Google Forms, Poll Everywhere, and Doodle. I'm going to go through all of them. So Google Forms is free to use. If you have a Gmail account, you can make it public or private, require logins. You can, if you were giving a survey, you can require a login, and then you get in the data the username and the timestamp of who actually took it. There's a lot of diversity to a Google form. You can create questions, you can copy questions. So if it's the same format on a scale of 1 to 5, you don't have to re-enter all the multiple choices. You can copy that format and swap out the text. There's true and false, short essays. And what it does is it takes all the data and it puts it in an Excel spreadsheet for you, so you can actually collate and see the responses. You can also mark questions as required. So if you don't want the, form to be submitted without certain questions, you can do that. And you could also have questions linking to other questions. So if you have one question that they answered, they might get another one. Only if they answer like true or false, another one pops up. It's kind of dynamic. Poll Everywhere is great because it's polling in a classroom. You can use cell phones, your computer,
Yeah, and
mobile devices.
That's a regular cell phone, not a smartphone.
Yeah. What you would do is you go to polleverywhere.com. The free accounts let you get, I think,
It's 40.
40 responses for free. So if you're doing one question at a time and you have less than 40 people in your class, it might work out. If you need a larger amount, there are subscriptions that you can sign up for. They also do little bubble clouds, or the data pops up, so you can do a Wordle. So if everyone is saying certain words, those words are more gigantic than the other ones. If you're doing it by multiple choice type things, they can do bar graphs, or it can also do the entire sentence of what they type out.
And you can get it download as a slide to use in a PowerPoint
Yeah.
of your data.
Doodle we use a lot in our office to schedule meetings. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. You can create an account, but you don't really need to unless you're doing the scheduling. What you do is you pick a date range and different times, and what it is you send that URL to whoever you're trying to have a meeting with, and they click on it, and they type in their name, and they put check marks in the classes or the sessions that they can attend, and then you can schedule a meeting on the day that most people can attend.
It's also good for like students signing up to do presentations or office hours or that kind of stuff. So who uses Google Forms? Yes, okay, and Poll Everywhere? Okay, and Doodle? Oh,
This is
cool.
a very good crowd.
Yes.
Sure.
We have a lot of instructors that are based in China. Is this accessible behind the Chinese firewalls? I know Google Forms is not.
Let me see.
We can check. I don't know offhand, actually. Are any of the employees in China available to have the VPN of your school? Is there-
That's true.
Yeah, I've had grad students that go home to China that I was like, oh, if you ever want to talk to us, like, just use our VPN. So that might be one of the ways to do it, but I wouldn't know. I can't see that this would be something China would want to block anyway. Okay. So for all of these access, Google Drive does the forms. It's best for questionnaires. We do them a lot after our conferences to ask, did it meet expectations, or is there something you wanted to get more information about, or who do you want our next guest speaker to be? So all those type of questions. You can also embed it in a website. So if you want the form to just appear on your website and just people log in without getting a URL emailed to them, you can do that. And it's really simple format to look at it in Excel. You get the timestamps of what it was and the responses. Doodle, it's saved so much time going back and forth scheduling meetings for us. It's been a real great asset. And Poll Everywhere is one of the polling tools that our university uses in the classroom. They don't need clickers, and most of the students now are having cell phones. It doesn't need to be a smartphone either. It can be just done by text messaging.
So for the Google Forms, do you have to have a Google account in order to respond to it?
It depends on how you set it up. So they're like, if you're using like the Edu account, you can require users to log in, which means that when you get responses, you'll get a column with their username. So that's kind of nice if you're doing it with students. If you set it up so that it's public, then
Then it's public.
it's just a form. It's just a form that you would check boxes or
Yeah,
type
as
in your
long as you-
responses. Yeah.
Yeah, let me, I can
Yeah, pull up
pull
one
up
from
an
the drive.
example.
And in terms of the analysis, if you give like an online quiz, it will say, do like, show how many people answered A, B, C, or D, you get that kind of-
Yeah, it takes your responses and puts it onto a spreadsheet. So it just creates a column for each question.
So we had a Faculty Technology Day conference at our campus, and this was one of the forms that we provided them afterwards. And it's just a sample, and they can check off, or they can, if we did responses with fill in the blank or anything, those boxes would appear. They would submit. We did it where we wanted them to log in because we would like to know which faculty attended the sessions.
Yeah.
And it exports to Excel?
Yeah, it's
You have to do your own plotting, graphing.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it a Google spreadsheet, and then if you wanted to, you can download it, and then you'd have all the functionality of Excel. Yeah.
okay.
Or you also can look at it through the dashboard and it'll show you the histogram.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it does simple, like, basic reporting, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to talk about, oh, yes.
Question, when you use the Learning Everywhere, and do you have an issue like, for example, building the Wi-Fi is not good enough, and it will cause the problem for students to respond to questions?
That is one of the downsides. It all is based on either Wi-Fi or cellular activity. If they have a cell phone signal, then they can, text the number, no problem. If they're using it by Wi-Fi, that's another level of complexity that it's possible. But we haven't had the issue at our university. That is also, this is the free version. There are clickers that students can buy that does the same functionality, but then that's just another thing. So we're just demoing a free option.
Yeah, so I mean, if you know that you're in a room that doesn't get good signal, then you probably don't want to use it. So that's something you'd probably want to test before class.
But polling with Poll Everywhere is great for getting student responses. They're very into it. They know that it's anonymous, and they feel more open to sharing their opinion. So if you're doing a vote, someone might not want to raise their hands, similar in this room, but they might voice their opinion that way. Yeah.
So actually, it's not people using, I know some faculty use this as like grading, like a quiz, or maybe attendance, so it's not.
For Poll Everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the attendance, though, they might do it by, you have to type out your name. But then you're still not linked to specific accounts because it's, you don't get their cell phone number when they're doing it. Okay, I'm going to go on with this. So today's Meet and Twitter. Today's Meet is a back channel room. It's very similar to Twitter if you've heard of it, but it's a more closed environment, and it's not with any accounts that you need. You can survey your class this way. It's open in the browser or a web browser, and there's a presentation view, so you can have it in your classroom going on at the same time. It's a very simple format. You literally just type in your room name and how long you want it. So you can do it up to a year, and it'll expire in a year. So if you're doing it over and over, you can just set it up once and have it, or you can do it for a certain session or anything else. Then you get a URL, and the URL lets them go and type what they need. So they can type in their name, so then you know who it is. They can write a message, and it's a short message similar to Twitter. And then when they hit submit, it goes into the window as my thing. So this is one of those where if you don't want your conversation in the public and using Twitter, although Twitter is a really great tool and it's great to get a lot of, impact on the rest of the world, this is one of those options to do it in class synchronously with your peers. Twitter, she did a whole talk on Twitter the other day. One of those really great social networking tools that you can do, it requires very short amount of characters. You can do certain hashtags to follow your course, and you can do it for research also. So if there's a hashtag of a current event that's happening, you can give that to them to follow and then respond and link to your class by using another hashtag.
One cool way that we saw an instructor using Twitter, so he created his own hashtag for the class, and then he used something called IFTTT, if this, then that, right? And so just with the initials, basically that's something where you enable channels, like you would enable it to use your Twitter account, and then you would enable it to use your Google account, and then you set it up so that you don't have to know any code. You just say, if the hashtag, then a Google spreadsheet, and you collect all of those tweets on a spreadsheet. And that's a really cool tool because it's not just that. You can set it up with your phone, you can set it up with all kinds of different accounts. But anybody use Twitter? Okay. And who's used Today's Meet?
One person.
Oh, wow. Would anybody like to see that live? I mean, that one's really not much more than what you already saw, but, or Twitter?
I have a question about the IFTTT.
Mm-hmm.
So if you use that tool, it will collect like recent tweets or some timeline?
Yeah, so I attended a conference and I used Twitter as my way of note-taking and seeing, following other people. So what I do is I go to ifttt.com and I associate my Google account and my Twitter account, and I say, if the hashtag, and whatever the hashtag is tweeted between this date and this date, put in a Google form sheet. And what it does is in that Google form, it'll have all the date and timestamps of the tweets and the tweets. It does collect retweets too, so sometimes you get repetitive ones, but it's a really great way of sorting and having an archived copy of whatever was being done.
The service also has a trigger, and so occasionally, if they change an API or something, it might not automatically collect it. All you do is just restart the recipe, basically. So
we're at the end of time. I've been getting the cue. Is there any tool that you guys are looking forward to use or going to use differently from the session? Yeah.
I just want to know if your slides are available.
Yes, they're on the bit.ly link. We have been uploading to the My Campus or CT site, but every time we upload, we get a success, and then we go to look, and it's not there. So the link that I have, again, is...
And while she's doing that, the Screencast-O-Matic, yes, there is a link on that page that says you can also install it, which is nice. The China issue, didn't see anything on Doodle, but you can probably contact them.
So this is the site, bit.ly/10QQRGM. The second Q is lowercase. We've also made, it links to this blog, Tools for Task, and we have it embedded on the screen. So this is SlideShare embedded. So you can go through the slides the way we've done today. And we're going to put other links to resources as we go do that later on. Okay. Well, thank you very much for attending. I'm really happy that you're using so many tools already, but I really hope that this was helpful for you. Okay, thank you.